Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hammer tutorial. In this video we are going to be going through lighting and props, which is pretty simple, I would say. It's a little complicated in some areas, but we won't really go over the very complex things. We're just going over the basics. This is going over the assumption that you did watch my previous video on making your first room, and in this video we're of course just gonna add a little bit of decoration and lighting. So the first thing we want to do, so as you learned in the last video, we learned how to use the entity tool. We're going to place down a new entity. It's going to be called light underscore environment. I cannot spell, I'm sorry, but anyway, this here is supposed to be, let's put it this way. If you have a room map, let's just say you want to make ambient lighting, where if you have a sky, for example, which we don't, but if you have a skybox, the lighting needs to cast down into the map, or it needs to be casted from the skybox. This basically just is ambient lighting. You just want to have this because this kind of controls a lot of the lighting stuff in your map. We're gonna put it here. It doesn't matter where you put this though, and it also has a lot of settings. We will go over what these settings do in game, or we'll go over what these settings are at a different time, because some of them is just brightness is just the brightness of the light, the ambient lighting. You can also change the color, so if we want to make it red, then we could. I'm gonna leave this for now though. Also, this is the intensity of the light. So each of these lighting entities we have, these are all gonna have this option here. They're gonna have brightness and ambient, or they're at least all gonna have brightness and stuff. But we also have ambient lighting because this is the map's ambient light. So yeah, these all have brightness sliders, and the first three values are an RGB value. If you don't know what RGB stands for, it's red, blue, green, or red, green, blue, and it's just three numbers that control any color. I mean, if you have Hammer++, and I think maybe Base Hammer, I'm not sure, but you have the color slider and stuff, but we won't worry about that. We're not going to worry about this, but just know these three values are the color of the light, and this last one is the intensity. So we're not going to touch this though, but if we compile our map, which I'm going to do right now, if you can see now, our map is loaded, and now it's a pitch black room. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do impulse 101 for hitting all weapons, and now I'm going to turn on the flashlight. As you can see, the map is pitch black because we have no lights in here at all. It's a entirely pitch black map. This is what we should be looking at though, because the environment lighting is kind of the thing that makes the lighting work. Because if you remember last video, our map was entirely white, or it was in full bright, and we do not want that. Let's quit. Now let's move on to the next entity. We're gonna do a few, but the main ones, we're gonna go over the main ones. So first, we're gonna go with the basic light entity. The light entity is the basic light. It's a basic light. So we do the same thing we did for the light underscore environment here. We do the same thing. We type light. It's just basic light. There's nothing else to it. And of course you have brightness, which is the same thing as the other one. You have other options too. These two are these two are really important. Or these three actually. Appearance is the appearance of the light. We can make this have a flicker in a way. If we want this light to have a flicker, we can. It's gonna be kind of it might be seizure inducing, but I think we could use it for the video's purpose. Or I think we can do the slow strobe. Actually, let's do the slow strobe option here. Hold on, let's just put it somewhere. We'll put it here. I think that's roughly centered. Okay, so yeah, you have the options here, which is we have the flicker options. We have all the effects for the light. We're gonna go with slow pulse, no black, and since we already went over these, also HDR brightness, we don't really have to worry about this, by the way, and percent fall off distance. Percent fall off distance is kind of the distance the light will travel, or it's a way for light to calculate how far it's going to travel. And in this case, we should set it to 200. So 0%, let's put it this way, 0% is the maximum distance it's going to fall off. It's where it's there's no lighting after this point, for example. The 50% fall off, that's going to be the halfway point in a way. So if let's put 200 and 400. And if you can see here, there's a radius. This outer radius is the 0%, which is the 400, and the inner one is the 200%. Actually, in retrospect, we're gonna make it 300 and 150. It doesn't need to be this big. And okay. Also, if you're using Hammer++, which I hope you are, you probably should, you could also see the light in the editor if you really wanted to. It's not going to be the best, most accurate way, but if you could do it by, instead of doing 3D textured shaded here, you can go to lighting preview and then click light. I always call it light wind, but I just don't know what it's, I just don't understand. I'm not saying that loud because it's annoying. Anyway, you click full bake here, and now if you look here, you have a light, or you could see your light. And it's not really the most accurate, but if you're just trying to figure out what looks good or like what looks right in the editor, this is like generally a good way of doing that because it's just easier than compiling the map every time you want to see the light. And in this case, I kind of don't really like this per se, so we're gonna lower the intensity of the light. Right now it's at 200. Let's make it 100. Yep, and as you can see, the top and bottom are kind of like less bright, which is what we want. And now we're gonna put it on this side. We're gonna copy it over. And let's just put it around the same spot here. All right, now we're gonna go over our next light entity, which is the light underscore spot entity. And you place it the same way, light underscore spot. This is the final light entity we're going over, by the way, because I don't really want to do that much more because this is all you really need to know for now. Anyway, this entity, it's similar to this, well, it's similar to the basic light entity, except instead of it being a radius, it generally travels in a cone shape like this. You could also adjust the size of this cone, which we will do shortly, but let's just put it, let's say here. Say here, and yeah, that's about good. We'll make it half there. Anyway, so yeah, this basically just makes it a cone, and we can also adjust the cone's values with this window here. The outer fading angle is the outside of this cone. So if I change this to 60, for example, let's just do that. It makes the outer one bigger, and if I change the inner one, which is the same thing, but it's the inner one, so it just makes this inner one bigger. That's basically like the most you need to know for this entity. It's pretty similar to the other one, it just makes it a cone shape, and you also got the same appearance options and the fall off percentages if you really wanted to. And if we do the light preview, you could see that, yeah, it works like it usually would. It's just a entity similar to this one, but it's in the shape of a cone. Now we're gonna move on to props. Props are think of props as like objects in a level. Like think of the barrel puzzle, right? The barrel puzzle in Half-Life 2 has these blue barrels that are physics objects. These are called physics props, for example. Props are like details in levels. In this case, our level is only made up of brushes, which we don't really want that all the time. Brushes are cool, but what's cooler is props. Props can do a lot more, or like a lot more detail. In the source engine at least, they are the heavy lifting for visuals. We're gonna start with a prop static first. So prop underscore static. This is a entity, or this is a prop type that is just a prop in the environment. You cannot name this prop, which we could do on certain other ones if we wanted to, but we can like make this anything. It starts off as this yellow square that's highlighted to red when you select it. To make this something you want to like see in a level in a way, like, because right now it's just a red square that you cannot see in game at all, or it's yellow when you uninteract with it. But to make this a square, or to make this like a, let's say a crate, right? You click browse there, or anything. Now this down here is basically a search bar. This is like the search bar. So if let's say I want to put crate here. Just want to put the word crate, and yeah, you get all these options here. Or what if I want to put the word, say lab? If you put certain words, keywords in here, you'll find like it gives you all the things you want. It gives you all the things you would like generally associate with that area. And in this case, I put lab, and I get a lot of the stuff from Dr. Kleiner's lab in Half-Life 2. So we're gonna, let's just say we'll use the servers one, right? We'll use the servers prop, and of course it's like the same thing as like moving a brush around and stuff. You just like put on the wall here, and you can put that there. Now if you want to rotate this, I might have already said this in the previous video, but you can just double click this, or like click it enough till these like things come around and you can rotate around stuff. I am going to leave it like that though. And let's just say we want to put another one, like, let's say, you could also copy and paste these props and just change it like that. And boom, you have another prop. It's pretty simple, honestly. I kind of do think this is pretty intuitive, or not super intuitive, but like it's decently fine. Yeah, you could just do that, like what I did here, and do that. And now let's copy it to the other side, like so. All right, now we're gonna have the next type of prop we're gonna learn, which is physics props. Physics props are, like let's say in Half-Life 2 with the pick up the can moment, right? These it's like just objects with physics, basically. It's kind of self-explanatory. In Hammer, we need to make a different or a special type of prop to make it have physics, and we're gonna do this by, oh my gosh, what am I doing? We're gonna make this by we're gonna do this by making a prop. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at improv. Anyway, we're gonna do this by making a special type of prop called prop_physics. And there's also a multiplayer variant. If you're making a map on a multiplayer source in the game, I would use that one. Apparently, from what I've heard, it is the version of the prop that's just more optimized for online play. So, like with netcode and stuff. So, but we're making a map for Half-Life 2 in this video, so we're using the just standard one. And if you, now, let's just type chair. It's similar to the one we just talked about. And in this case, we're gonna use chair. I'm pretty sure this is this one. Yeah, this has this. You can also tell if some props don't have physics. All right, some props don't have physics. Some props can't even be static props. If you want to make sure your prop has physics, you can check down here by seeing this little info tab. This is usually the default when it's on, but if it has a check mark that says physics, you're basically good to use this prop as a physics prop. It's also, some props can't even be static props. They just can't. So you should also check down here for that. Also skins. This is something that I kind of want to talk about right now. You can have skins for each props. So like, let's say skin 0. This is skin 0 for that prop, and this is skin 1. And these all have like different skins for them. We're going to be using this chair though, because it just looks better for this type of thing. And you can also do the same things we did with normal props. Like so. Like that. Yep. And we can put it on the other side, and we're good. Okay, now we're gonna go to one final prop thing, but this is kind of something we're just gonna gloss over, kind of, because we don't really need to do anything with this prop or anything with this like whole, let's just say we don't really do anything with this type of prop at the moment, because it's just not really anything we need to know that badly. We call a prop_dynamic or prop dynamic. This is kind of something that, like, let's just say it's, to put it in simple terms, it's a version of a prop you can animate and does a lot more things. And like, it's usually something that like you would use with moving objects or things that, props that have animations. Like, you know, the sliding doors in TF2? That's something that you would use as a prop dynamic. Like, let's say on like Dust Bowl or Gold Rush or any map that uses the doors that aren't just like brushes going up and down. It uses a prop dynamic. Because that prop is tied to the door that opens up and down. So this is basically just a more it's similar to prop physics, but it's more logic based rather than player throwing can based, I guess, in a way. But yeah, we're not going to be using that in this video. I'm probably going to make this room look a little nicer to look at by just adding a couple things, and that's pretty much it. And I'll get back to y'all. All right, we are back. So as you can see here, I just added a couple of extra props and I have these lights up here. I figured it was just something that would kind of fit in this area, or kind of fit in this little way. This is just a basic test map. It doesn't matter that much, but I decided to add a couple little things. But since we do have these explosive barrels here, I'm gonna do a little something cool, or we're gonna do something kind of unique, so we don't have to put the console command. We're gonna add a basic pistol. We're gonna add the USP Half-Life 2. So we just type weapon_pistol, or this pistol. We could just put it on the desk here, or we put it on this desk, and it doesn't matter where you put it on the desk as long as you can pick it up. You can also just rotate it on the front axis too, maybe. Just do that. And then do that, maybe? Like this? Yeah, like that. And what you can do with this is just that you can just shoot the barrels that we added, because these will explode. By default, these things will explode. So that is something you should be aware of. And actually, we'll move one of these to the other side of the room, just so it's separated. Yeah. Alright, now let's just compile our map and see what it looks like in game. Alright, we are here in game. Now, I did kind of mess up these tables here. These just should be here. I don't know why they're here. We can actually check with the command console, check what the console says. Now, apparently, this is just an issue with the table. It's just the issue with the table. These must be the compiler will tell you that there's something wrong with certain props not being the thing you want it to be by default. Sometimes it just like doesn't like allow you to see them in game. It's just an issue. So how to fix this? how to fix this prop here or this prop here being broken game is you just go here, or you go to the prop, then you do prop underscore dynamic. And you could probably like do more with this, but let's just not worry about it. Then we can probably do more fixes to make it so it doesn't have physics or whatever, but let's just do that. Also, by the way, you can also disable the collision on props as well by going here to collisions and click not solid, because sometimes you do want to not make these props have collision because it can be annoying. Anyhow, let's go back in game because let's just like not worry about the desks not being there. Wait, we can shoot the barrels here. We really want to see. We can do that, and it starts burning, and it will explode very shortly. Yep, that's that. We can go over here, and it shoots that as well, or explodes that as well. And we can also, well, okay, we can't pick up those barrels. But I thought you could. I thought that you would send one to the bases. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We got the map, and I think that's pretty much it for this video. If you like this video, you know, do the YouTube stuff, and I will see you next time. I don't know what we're doing next time, but we should be doing something. Bye-bye.